Really impressed with the group. We thought we had a really strong OTAs, and it seems like we challenged them to come in here and kind of pick up the ground running. Because OTAs, you think about it, you have about 5 weeks to build up to that first practice. We're here, you really got 1 day of meetings, and then the next day we're practicing. So really impressed with how they're doing. Obviously not where we need to be, but really good start.
What was your message to your group? A couple of hard injuries so far at corner. What was the message to the group, and how will you try to kind of build the pieces back around?
Yeah, it's funny. We talked to Trey White about it, and he just talked about, first of all, you got to be thankful every time you walk off the field healthy. And so take nothing for granted. And everybody's got to be ready all the time, and that's the stuff we got to preach. And obviously we lost a couple of really good players, and some guys got to step up.
What does it mean having Trey White in that room, kind of that voice of reason to help you talk to some of the
It's huge. It's huge, especially for those guys. There's some younger guys in that room, and he's been in the league since 2017 and done it at a high level. And he's just a special person. He really is. When he came on his visit, I remember talking with him, Aubrey and Sean for about 5 hours, and we talked football for a couple hours, and then it was just about leadership and stuff. He actually wants to get his master's degree in a leadership course, so he's a real special person, and it's a blessing to coach him.
And how does your verse and fist look out there for you early on?
They're looking good. Looking good. A long way to go. We got a lot of stuff to clean up with them, but you see a lot of the flashes. You see the aggression. You see the attacking mindset. You see the style of play that they had at Florida State, and exactly why we picked them where we did.
It seems like Versus really stepped into a leadership role. Is that your impression as well?
I think in that room, I would say, as far as the outside backers, I would say Mike Hoyt's a leader, but I think he's a leader in the sense of how he plays. I think guys, he plays tough. He plays fast. He plays very hard. So I think guys want to follow him in that sense.
Bringing John Johnson back, what went into that, and what does he mean for the secondary?
Yeah, we always kind of had it in the back of our minds, I think. And, he's a guy that we know very well, that's very familiar with the system. And, obviously he was here the first year we got with the Rams, and we drafted him in 2017. So, somebody that was with us the last game of the year, it kind of feels like he's been with us since,
Can you give us an update on Darius? Chris, can you give us an update on what's happening with him?
We'll give Coach McVay, when he addresses you guys tomorrow, we'll let him do that. Yeah.
But he wasn't out, not just held out today, or?
He was out today, and then Coach McVay will talk to you guys about it tomorrow.
Chris, it seems like Kim Curl's range can really also unlock a lot of the versatile stuff that Quentin can do. What has it been like working with those two so far as partners, and then how does it sort of help broaden out what you can do in your position?
Yeah, Cam Curl's been really awesome to coach. He has been really good, just like you said, in the deep part of the field. He can do a lot of things, and he's been great with his communication, especially coming in here. You would never know this is his first year in this defense just by how well he's communicated. He's so calm out there, and yeah, you're exactly right. We see the same thing as you as far as how he can play in the deep part of the field, and Quentin Lake is a guy that can do a lot of different things, so we're always going to try to find the best 11 to put out there, and we'll see what we do.
How much is your system, Chris, the same as it was last year, and how much did you tweak it?
I think every year you're always going to watch stuff around the league, and I think from my perspective, you're always you've worked under some great coordinators just in the past, so you're always going to put your personality on the defense. Obviously, I can't be Raheem Morris. I couldn't even try to be Raheem Morris. I don't think anybody could, but I'm going to try to take aspects just from my past and stuff I believed in, and stuff also. It's about the players, so it's really finding out what these guys can do and what these guys are good at, and then kind of molding it to that.
Is Aaron completely out of mind, or you had been around him so long, do you ever catch yourself looking up and going, where's 99?
He's on our cut-ups all the time, so I don't know if that'll ever, so we see him all the time on tape, and yeah, we talk about it a lot, but obviously we're moving forward with the guys we had here and trying to build the best defense we can.
Chris, what do you need to see out of Bobby Brown taking another step forward and really occupying that nose role?
Just keep doing what he's doing. We don't want him to try to do anything more than he is. We thought he played really well last year, and just be available and in good shape and be able to play multiple plays in a row. And, we think as long as he keeps just putting these good days together, the sky's the limit for him.
How about Kobe Turner? I know hasn't been able to fully participate, but what do you want to see from him?
Oh, exactly the same. He doesn't have to replace Aaron Donald. He doesn't have to be Aaron Donald. He just needs to be Kobe Turner. And we know if Kobe Turner's the best version of himself, that is awesome. That is awesome for us, and we know he's a really, really good player in this league, and he proved that last year.
If relief is the right word, how much of a relief was it to get the Stafford situation handled and then see him out here right away? And how does he look to you?
Yeah, like I said back in the spring, I'm glad I don't have to be a part of any of that stuff for any of these guys, right? I just get to come out here and, pour everything I can into these guys, just like all the other coaches. But yeah, particularly for him, anytime you have number 9, you're in the fight, in practice, in a game. He's such a joy to be around, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, it's awesome being with this guy and trying to do everything he can to help him in any way that he needs. Like I said, he helps me as much as he helps me a lot more than I help him. So no, it's been a joy, and he looks like number 9. He looks like he can go as long as he wants. So hopefully that's a long time.
And it looks like DeMarcus is getting a lot of work in there at the number 3 spot for the receivers. What's your thoughts on how he's performed so far?
Yeah, he's done a great job. DeMarcus got here later last year, right? I think it was probably even in June. So he missed all OTAs. And you're kind of already in the, behind the 8 ball when it comes to training camp, particularly with, just the injuries of Matthew and Cooper from that 22 years. So we had a lot of things that we were working through last training camp, a lot of unknowns. And for him to be able to have, the back half of the year that he had, have OTAs and just come into camp knowing exactly what we're trying to get done, it's been awesome. And he's like Matthew. He's a joy to be around. He has such great energy. He has such great vibes. Even when he wasn't playing, he just did whatever we asked from him. And he was a great teammate. He was great in the locker room. And now it's carrying through with him.
And with a guy like Puka, after a great rookie season, it looks like out here, like I told Coach yesterday, like he's lighting it up. Like, which ways have you guys seen him improve from even with the year he had last year?
Yeah, I was joking around with him. Last year he wore a long T-shirt. And this year, after working out with Cooper all offseason, he wants to show off his washboard a little bit, So his body's right, his mind's right. He's not content with his rookie year, and he's around with this locker room and being around a guy like Cooper Kupp. He'll never be content. He's going to keep pushing forward because there's more out there for him.
As an offense, what's the teaching process been like with continuing to get Steve back in the groove?
Yeah, I mean, it's that was a big change for him, and he got to learn from 2 of the best in Coleman Shelton and Brian Allen last year in terms of just how to conduct yourself as a center, what you're looking for, all that. He was swimming in his guard, but he got pretty comfortable swimming there for a while, obviously, and played some really good ball. And we asked him to move over to center. He's got a great coach in Ryan Wendell. Again, not just saying that there's a reason he was Tom Brady's center for such a long time, and so he can. Those centers, they speak a different language to each other, So he's getting more and more comfortable. And again, like I said back in the spring, he's not in this alone. He's got great guards and tackles in that room around him. Wendy, all of his coaches are here to support him.
What's that like for you to have a fully healthy Cooper Kupp, and now knowing what Puka is capable of as you kind of prepare for the season?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's it's more awesome for those guys. Particularly, let's just talk Cooper. He wasn't as healthy as he wanted to be last year, and he couldn't control that. Cooper wants so much control in all facets of his life, what he puts in his body, how he's physically and mentally preparing for the season, the off season, all that, and he feels great right now. And again, he'll never get too high, he'll never get too low. He's just trying to take this thing one day at a time. We got a long way before we play that first game, and he's just trying to get himself as good, as prepared as he can be.
But for you specifically, and Sean, in terms of designing the offense, knowing, there at least right now, there aren't those questions about what can Puka really do? Is Cooper going to recover? If they hit the ground running as the season begins, how much?
Yeah, I mean, you got a ton, especially with D-Rob. And, I mean, those 3 played a lot of football in the back half of the year together with number 9. So there's a lot of continuity there. The balance that we got to have as an offense between Sean and I and the coaches is getting still not take it for granted what we did well last year and continue to build on that, but then also, what are we going to adjust? What are we going to change? How are we going to keep evolving? Make sure that no one can catch up to us. So there's that fine balance between trying new things and again, perfecting what you do well.
Where is Davis? We know that for so many years this has been such an 11 personnel heavy team because of what the receivers can do and the blocking surface as well, not subbing and all of those things. But when you have 2 tight ends who look like they could really have very positive contributors to this roster, how do you balance sort of mixing and matching those things, understanding what the foundation laid by Sean for 7 years at this point has been.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's anytime you can be more versatile within your players, within your scheme, within your personnel groups, it's just going to, put more pressure on the defense, So, again, there's that balance. We're not out here like 30 years ago running 150 plays, so you got to be very selective, what you're doing out here. We do get a lot of walkthrough and stuff like that, where, again, that's bigger than people understand in terms of the mental reps and what you can get done there. So, no doubt that tight end room, there's some weapons in there, both in the run game and the pass game, and, we'll see how organically it all kind of shapes out when we get closer to the season.
Couple more guys. Where is Davis now entering year 2 compared to where he was a year?
Like all rookies, and he's a very, very smart, mature guy, but you're still a rookie, and you're getting used to not just the physical but the mental aspect of it from a schematic standpoint. And oh my gosh, it's 3 preseason games, a long training camp, and 17 regular season. That can look big if you're not where your feet are. I'm not saying his weren't, but he's a year into this thing. He knows this system. Nick Caley does a great job with all those guys, and he's just getting more and more comfortable.
Coach, with your running back room last year coming into training camp was a big question mark. Now you have Kyron, who's the #1 guy, and you draft great. How good has the running back room looked so far?
Yeah, is Puka around right now? No, it's awesome. I mean, again, it's just great to have Kyron healthy going into this training camp. He brings such a great energy and vibe, to our offense, not just from that running back room. I mean, his vibe and energy spreads to all of us as coaches, his teammates, all that. Quorum's fit of that same mold. I mean, it's all 32 teams knew what kind of guy Quorum was in terms of just how mature he was, the production he had at Michigan, and again, I don't put predictions or anything on that. I just know that mentally he'll be prepared to play. It won't be too big for him.
Kyron's expressed some interest in being involved in the passing game more. Is that in the plans for the season?
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see. We got a lot of guys that can do a lot with the ball in their hands, and he's certainly one of them. So, yeah, I mean, everyone knows we're going to turn around and hand him the ball, but any way that we can get him the ball and all these playmakers the ball, again, there's only one ball, and a lot of these guys deserve to touch it. Cool part is they're all made of the right stuff, and they know we're going to do whatever we can do, for the team to be successful.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Good seeing y'all.